Hello, are you ready to relax? It's always a great time to move the body, but it's just as a great time to relax the body and the mind. Welcome to this video, and that's what we're going to do in this video. We are going to completely relax the body and the mind. We're going to focus especially on the hips. So really releasing those tight hips. Our hips are so overlooked, and we are going to show them some love today. I am recommending some props. A chair, if you have it, would be very beneficial, especially if you don't sit well on the floor, or if you're already in a wheelchair, or again, this chair can be very handy. If you're comfortable sitting on the floor, then that's all you need, but you may choose to also use the chair. So have it ready if that may be something you think will be appropriate for you today. Also, a couple blocks would be wonderful. If you don't have blocks, it's fine. Just a couple small pillows will be just fine. A blanket, something, I recommend a warm space. So a little blanket nearby would be great. So at the end, you might need that, okay? And yes, I'm recommending a warm space. So with that, I will give you a couple minutes to grab your things and we will get right to it. All right, just come to your mat and sit on your knees. We're going to start in a child's pose. So you know how to play with your child's pose. You can open your legs wider if that's more comfortable, or having your knees closer together is whatever is appropriate for your body. Child's pose is a very personal pose, and it just depends on your body, on where your knees, how far they're open or closed. So just come to a child's pose, forehead to the mat. And just start to release into this pose. Press the heels of your hand into the mat. Stretch out your arms. Start to maybe focus on your breath. Breathing here. Let's take 3 full breaths in and out. One more full breath in and out. And go ahead and walk your hands over slightly to the left. And feel that stretch a little more on the side body, as well as into the hip. One more full breath. And walk your hands all the way to the other side, to the right, just slightly, so you feel a deeper stretch along the side body, now to your left, and a little bit into that hip and right side as well. And just fall into it. One more full breath. And walk your hands gently back to the middle. And one more forward stretch here. And let's go ahead and come up. we are going to go onto our backs. So lie back down onto your back. Let's go ahead and draw our knees towards our chest. And just have the tips of your fingers on your knees and just gently draw your knees forward and back, just slightly here. Waking up the lower back. And breathing. And then just go ahead and draw your knees, gently press on the front of your shins, very gently, nothing forceful. And breathe. Try and make your inhales and exhales similar lengths, keeping them smooth and fluid. Now, if you want to open your legs slightly, you're going to feel a deeper stretch in the inner thighs and through the hips. If that feels nice, and take a breath here. And let's go ahead and release the left leg outstretched and keep the right knee in, pulled towards your chest. 3 breaths. Play with that knee a little bit if you can, bringing it more towards the side and even bringing it a little bit over the body towards the left. One more breath. And let's switch legs. Draw the other leg up. Outstretch your right leg. And keep that left knee towards the chest. And breathe. Moving the leg around. Maybe a little bit over more to the left. A little more over towards the right. Continue breathing. And bring your other knee back up, both towards your chest. And just kind of rock side to side if that feels nice. And we're going to hold the back of our thighs and just roll up here. We're going to go into a kind of a butterfly, but supported. So this is where you could use your blocks or your pillows and just put those underneath your knees. You're going to keep your feet in a butterfly position, so soles of the feet together. And use the blocks here for support to keep your legs and keep your feet further out. Don't try and keep them close to your body. Keep the feet a little bit out more. This is going to really focus more on the hip area. And then if you have your pillows or your blocks, whatever you have, we're just going to lean forward here, imagining the chest falling over the feet. You could rest your elbows on your legs. You can bring them all the way forward, and just by having the assist of the blocks or the pillows on the side, this is going to allow you to go forward more, even if you don't have as much flexibility. This is where you'll play with this pose, with where you place the blocks. You might need them closer, you might need them further, but you want to feel this in your hips as you lean forward, and you want to be able to lean forward. So whatever way your body is comfortable, the more you have the pillows up, you're going to be able to comfortably lean forward, or you may have the flexibility to move the blocks or the pillows further away. And if you can, you want to be able to release into this pose as much as possible. So try and fall into it. You can even have a pillow. I have my blanket here. You can even have a pillow that you can rest your body on in the front if that feels nice. And just release into this. Visualize your hips completely opening and releasing. Us women, especially us women, we hold so much stuff in our hips. You may get emotional for no reason, and that's okay. Again, especially us females, males as well, but especially us females hold a lot of junk and stuff and emotions in our hips. So again, let your body release as much as possible. Focus on the breath. One more full breath. Let it go. And let's slowly come up. Bring your knees up, assist them if they need it. Go ahead and move those blocks to the side. And place your hands behind you, fingertips pointing towards your body. And just let's release the hips here, just kind of windshield wiping our legs back and forth, really pulling out that hip area. Lean over to the right side. Actually, it's your legs dropping to the left, but feel that outer stretch along the side here. Breathe. And release to the other side. If this isn't comfortable in your arms, you can just lean back on your elbows. And breathe. Really focus on just letting this go. Completely let it melt. And another full breath. And now slowly bring the legs up and just do what feels nice here. Just letting the legs come back and forth, side to side. Breathing, let them fall. And just let them go. A couple more times. Like I said, if it's not comfortable, up on your arms, either way. One more time and release. Great job. Now we're going to move back onto our backs again. And have your left foot placed on the mat flat and bring your right leg in a figure 4, resting your heel on your left knee, and let this right leg open up here. You're going to feel this stretch right here in the hip. Keep the feet flexed for safety of the knees. And really just let the weight of that leg, imagine it heavy and pulling and stretching and opening. And breathe here. Two more breaths. Let your head be relaxed, shoulders down, and release. And you're going to now bring your left leg up, and then same position, cross that right heel over the left knee, and just bring in as much as you can that left leg. You're going to feel this in your lower back and in your hips, in your inner thighs. You can, if you have the flexibility, you can grab the back of your thigh and pull gently to get a deeper stretch. Flex that foot, especially if you have any knee issues, this top foot. Or you can even just sit right here, should be enough of a stretch. You're going to really feel this in the piriformis, on the outside of your leg, your lower back, and your hips. And breathe. 3 breaths. And go ahead and release and bring those knees into your chest. Now place your right foot flat on the mat, and let's do that on the other side. Cross the left foot over, meeting the heel to the knee, not exactly. Flex that foot, but close enough. And go ahead and just imagine that, let that left hip open up. Let it go. You can gently press with your left hand on that left leg, upper thigh, and just kind of press as you're imagining that hip opening up on that left side. And now go ahead and gently bring up. You can undo the legs first if necessary. Bring up the right leg, cross that over, flex that foot, and just bring in the whole package, the whole leg package. And again, just play with it here. This is going to be how close you bring the leg in, or how that's going to depend on where you're at today. You might not need to hold on at all. Wherever you hold on, you could gently hold on the back of your left knee as well. You can thread your arms, hands together behind your right thigh. And just relax. 3 breaths. Let it all go. Get all that stuff released from your hips, your body. And release that leg. Bring your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Now we're going to hold onto the back of our legs, rock up. this is where we can use our chair. So I'm going to demonstrate it on the floor first. We're going to just do another kind of figure 4 here, stacking our legs on top of each other in kind of a pretzel, but you want to have the idea of your heel closer lined up to your left knee, and same with your right knee closer lined up to your heel of your left foot. So kind of a pretzel shape. Now this could be difficult for someone. That's okay. You could just be also in an Indian style if that's okay. But again, this figure 4 can be difficult for some people. But if it's comfortable, this is a wonderful, you can bring one of your pillows or your blocks to rest on, to just lean forward just like this. This is an excellent stretch for the hips, for the sciatica, for the piriformis, the IT, everything. This is a wonderful stretch. If this is too much, then I'm going to show you on the chair. You can sit back on your chair and just place your left foot flat on the ground and bring your right foot just how we had it on the floor. But by resting here, flex that foot, you're going to be able to come forward more and get a very deep stretch. Be gentle and don't go too far. Don't go very slowly to see where you're at. But this can be a wonderful stretch, again, if it's not comfortable on the floor. And just stay here. 3 breaths. Really try and relax as deeply into it as you can. Don't worry about how far or where you're at today. And 2 more breaths. Then I want you to take your right and kind of cradle it if you can, and wrap your arms around. You can rest the bottom sole of your foot in the crook of your elbow and just cradle your leg here. It's going to give you a very intense stretch in the hips and the outer leg, piriformis. This may not be conducive for everybody, and that's okay. If not, just leave the leg where it was at and continue to breathe. 3 breaths. You can kind of slightly move the leg if you have it cradled. One more breath. Let's repeat that on the other side. I'm going to go on to the floor again for the other side. You stay right in the chair if that's where you were at before, but let's change the legs. So opposite, legs on top if you're on the floor. Remember to line them up as much as you can. You want your heel as close to your knee as possible, but just the best you can. Use your prop here if you need to, so you can really rest into this pose. Let the props assist you so you can go deeper and just release, relax, and breathe. That's all you need to do right now. If you feel a discomfort or any tightness, imagine your breath moving into that tight area. And if this becomes not comfortable, just move into the chair. It's all about you. 2 more breaths. Nice job. And then come back up. If you could cradle that top left leg. If you're on the floor here, if that's too much, it's okay. Just stay where you were at or move into the chair. It's much easier to cradle the leg when you're sitting in the chair. It doesn't take as much flexibility. And breathe. 3 breaths. And release. Release that leg. Go ahead and draw your legs out straight in front of you. Shake them out. You can take a little bit of a forward stretch here if that feels nice. Just for a moment, if you can grab your prop, if you can use the prop for a little bit more leverage. You can bend your knees a little bit. Just lean over and release. And now we're going to move onto the floor, laying flat on our backs. If you want to make sure your blanket is nearby, that would be a good idea. I want you to just lay back all the way onto your back. Have your body completely stretched out, straight and long, arms overhead. And go ahead and lift your right leg up and bring it, keeping your legs straight. Just gently guide your right leg over. Try and keep your torso as straight as possible. You should feel this intense stretch in the hips. You can bend the top leg, that right leg, a little bit. A micro bend in your knee is okay, but the idea is to keep the legs straight and really focus on feeling this right hip fall over and release. You can keep your left arm outstretched to the side. You can keep your arms above head and breathe. This is really intense. Just breathe into it. One more breath. Just sink into it. Let it all go. And bend that knee and gently draw it back towards, let's do the other side. Outstretch the right leg. Gently lift the left and just draw it straight over. You can have that right arms outstretched. You can have the left arm above or to the side if that's nice. Remember, this is where the stretch, you want to feel it right in this right side of your hip. And release. And breathe. Let everything go. One more breath. Let it go. And gently draw that other right leg back towards you. Go ahead and grab your blanket. And just continue to lie down or sit in a comfortable seated position. and just be nothing. Do nothing, be nothing, just dissolve. Don't think about your name or maybe the color of your skin, where you were born. Just be nothing, be empty. Just for a moment. Don't be afraid to empty everything out. You can always fill it all back up with your armor and all the things you've collected about yourself. But just for these moments, try and just remain empty and nothing. Just dissolve. And if you need to move, please do so safely, slowly, and gently. And be mindful if you need to drive. Give yourself some time to come back into the present moment. If you're just going to go off to sleep, good night. Have a beautiful sleep. Thank you so much for joining me.